The play of water was Aalto's own term when he was speaking about the different kind of water features. When we were doing this exhibition, we realized that there are really a lot of different kind of water features around Aalto's architecture, and they are really a part of architecture. They are not separate garden design, but they are part of architecture. And there are small ones, like here, this very tiny, small bronze pool with a bird motif. And then there are from Paimio this quite modern-looking serpentine garden with the round pools reflecting the sky. And beside the Aalto Museum, there is also a beautiful cascade pool, which got its original water from the spring Löylyjoki. In Renaissance and Baroque gardens, the water is an important motif. There are fountains, there are pools, there are waterfronts reflecting the facades of the building. And in 1948, Aalto visited together with Aino in Villa d'Este, Tivoli, near Rome, where he saw the famous 100 fountain. And when looking that, you can see the similarities, even the very modest one, in Seinäjoki city center, the pool with the fountains and the terrace behind it. There's a lot of similarities there. In Islamic garden, the glow is on the channeling the water, creating the intimate space with the water sound. And in 1951, Aalto visited Granada and Generalissimus fountains, and he was guided by Francesco Prieto Modena, who has just finished the restoration of the fountain. So we are quite sure that Aalto saw this. And Aalto was very quick on adapting all kinds of things what he saw around. And that we can survey in the most beautiful set, how he is using Islamic water motif in his National Pension Institute. Here we have the drawing of National Pension Institute and its inner garden. It's like an oasis in the middle of the city. It has fountains here in the library wall, and they are going to the tiny channel here, which is leading to the square pool here, and there is a beautiful tree beside the pool, creating a little bit like a Japanese atmosphere here as well. And the channel is continuing around the whole courtyard here, and it's heading here on the waterfall, which is going toward the river. This is extremely beautiful plan, and the garden here inside is beautiful, but the system is not functioning. And that is a bit sad thing, that when doing renovations, especially in Aalto's case, where the courtyard is part of architecture, it should be renovated as well. There are two other kind of water features in Aalto as well. The square ones are in courtyards or in atrium kind of places, like in Säynätsalo or in Culture House, or inside Iron House. Inside Iron House, there is a pool with bronze platters, creating the feeling of outside, and the sound of the fountain is great there. And the other feature is the pools, real swimming pools. The first one and the most beautiful one is in Villa Mairea. And Villa Mairea pool is lake-shaped, it's imitating the lake, it's beside the sauna. And there is artificial hill behind it, and it's surrounded by green areas. The similar kind of pool is also in Villa Silt, created for Göran Schild, but Göran Schild was using it to keep there his red water lilies. Even a minor water feature, like here in Riihitie House, Aalto's own home, the water is bringing life to the garden, and it gives a nice, intimate voice and a kind of curtain against the urban voices. Ruined gardens have a quite fascinating history. It goes back to Renaissance, when the Italian painters and writers start to long for the classical antiquities. And that happened also with Aalto when they visited together with Aino in 1948. In Italy, they spent a lot of time visiting in small cities and towns like Assisi and San Gimignano, etc. And they took a lot of photographs, especially Aino was a good photographer. And Aalto made a lot of sketches. And in many of those photographs, there are photos of different kind of ruins. And whether it was the reason that they knew that it was their last trip to Italy, because Aino was already very ill, but anyhow, they became to understand how the human achievements are vanishing under the nature and time passing by. From thereafter, through the whole 50s, Aalto was using materials he thought would fit and would stand time to his idea of aging. And for example, when MIT Baker Dormitory was under construction, Aalto sent a letter to Veli Paatela, who was working on the site, expressing to him how he wanted to have rough bricks which looks that they are ageless. And he wanted to use creepers to cover the walls, because for Aalto, vegetation was something that expresses the vitality of the nature. And in that way, he thought that the house is not ready before the vegetation has covered it and conquered it, and time has really passed on. Aalto gave a lecture in Vienna, and there he said, this is a quotation, "We tried out the effects of plants of the brick material. It gives the architect a jolt when he suddenly discovers yellow blossoming parasitic plants on the bricks. And however trivial such things may seem, they do provide impulses." And as we know, Aalto used all kinds of impulses, and later in his life, he gave the ruin totally different interpretation. Both in, for example, in Finlandia Hall and in this small town hall in Alajärvi, Aalto was using black granite and white marble or plastering to create an atmosphere of ruin. Not now with the vegetation, but more abstract way.